Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast Network. This is We Are Bagu, Season 1, Episode 15, Ethan Still Loves Payday 2. That's right, Dr. Ethan E. is going to sit down and try to convince me to play Payday 2. In fact, I'm sold on it, and we're going to tell you all about it in this episode. If this is your first time checking out the podcast, thank you so much. Please go to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. We're at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at /We Are Podcast. With that said, on to the podcast.
We Are Bagu.
Hey everybody, welcome to the We Are Bagu podcast. This is Dr. Ethan E. here with my co-host,
Duck. I don't know what my name is anymore. It's Duck. I'm
It's
Duck.
Duck.
I wasn't expecting Ethan to do the intro, but I fucking love it. Yes.
Anyways, what is We Are Bagu? We Are Bagu is a podcast where we talk Atari to Steam and just about everything in between.
That is correct.
And today we're planning an ultimate heist. Duck got his first education in the world of thievery.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm addicted to it because, woo, what a fucking game. So Ethan had me taste this game. He had me get a little soupçon, if you will, of the gameplay of the game we're going to talk about today because he wanted me to understand what it means to be a burglar, to be a robber, to be a heister. I don't know what it is. But regardless, the game that we are going to talk about, Ethan, what is it?
We're talking about Payday 2, baby.
Payday 2 Baby. That is Payday 2 -Baby. I don't think that's what it's called, but it
I think
should
there's
be.
a comma in there, maybe, but whatever.
Oh my god, dude! What a fucking game!
So,
wow.
Just so everyone knows, this is more or less bank robbing simulator. You get a group of 4 of your friends, go into a random heist of all this crazy nonsense. You go steal some shit, fight off the cops, or you can go sneaky and try to snatch all the goodies without anyone ever knowing.
And it is a heist simulator, and it is cheap as fook. So if you want to play it, you can get it for how much, Ethan?
Right now, the Steam Summer Sale has it at 99 cents just for the base game itself. It's amazing. It's worth your time. And honestly, if you don't own it at this point, you're crazy.
You can get a cheeseburger, or you could play heist, or you could do both. I mean, I'm not even joking. Go to McDonald's, get a cheeseburger off the dollar menu, go to Steam, get Payday 2 off the dollar menu.
Big Mac in a diamond store. You're good. You get it both. You get it all.
We played it for how long earlier? 2 hours almost?
Yeah, we did like 2 or 3 hours. We did.
Wow.
I took Duck through a few assortments of missions. We did some stealth, some loud stuff. But before we get into it, Duck, what was your first impression of playing this game, man?
Immediately, it reminded me of the opening of The Dark Knight with the Joker heist. And that probably helped, too, because when I was dropped into the game, my character had a Joker mask. And immediately, I'm thinking, Purge. And you brought up Point Blank.
Yeah, Point Blank with
and
Patrick Swayze and
Keanu Reeves, right? Isn't Reeves in that bad boy?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like the idea of I think in that they wear the president's mask, but I think that's become kind of a cliche or a trope of these heist movies. And this game plays into all the tropes. And also, video game wise, it reminded me of Hitman a lot. And I don't know if you've played Hitman, but that open world kind of sandbox to the levels, whether you want to go stealthy or you want to go full blast in, the options were everywhere. But here's what I will say. You've got to go try it. For $1, you are going to get so much fun out of this game. Buy 4 copies and share with some friends because you can play up to 4 players in this bad boy, and you guys can do a bank heist together. Bank heist, museum heist, what other heist were there? It was everything. We did a cargo plane heist. We did all kinds of shit. Like, the scenarios were just, every time I thought we topped the scenario, we went to the next scenario, and Ethan was smart. He put me in the pot like a little heist lobster, and he started to boil me and boil me and boil me. And it was great, dude. I had a blast playing it. I literally, we could go play it right now, and I'd have a blast again.
Oh, yeah. The game did a great job of, as the years went on, and I mean years, because this game, Payday 2, originally came out in 2011, I want to say. No, I was wrong. Payday 2 released in 2013. The original game, Payday the Heist, came out in 2011, and that was the studio Overkill Software's big first hit. And of course, the sequel was a no-brainer, so 2 years later, they spit out Payday 2, and it's got all the classic shit that you want. They've got the bank heists, the jewelry stores. They've got all sorts of fun little stuff for you to do, and they've got all these other crazy missions that they're starting to build up into. You want to go rob an art gallery? Go for it. You want to go stealthy and sneak into a bank and rob them blind? Go for it. Like, it's awesome.
And we did those things. That's how Ethan kind of got me into the game. And what was really fun, at first I felt bad because the police showed up and I was killing the police. And then I told Ethan that I was like, I feel kind of guilty this game's evil. And he goes, yeah, this game's evil. Let's play. And I was like, okay, you're fine. But
It's evil as shit.
It's very realistic looking, and I think that's why I was like, this is like but it works too because it is a bank heist simulator. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's a first-person shooter. You're in the shoes of the killer. Even when you put on the mask beforehand, because you don't have the mask on to start with, you put it on, and then you go into it. But I never knew I wanted to play this game, and when we started playing it, I still didn't know I wanted to play it, and now I'm like, how have I never played this game? That's how much fun I had.
It's really unique, and there's not any other games out there that kind of scratch this kind of itch, because everyone's always had that idea of, man, I want to go. I wonder what it would happen if I tried to rob this place or if I did that. And this is the way you can try that. And it's very well done. It kind of gives you a realistic feel to it, but also plays into that skill gameplay aspect of you have waves of cops coming after you. They've got enough shit to just nuke you.
It was cartoonish at a certain point. Like, I was like, there's no way. Like,
the last mission we did with the diamond, that was ridiculous.
It was out of control. Like, they just kept showing up, and I'm like, where are we getting more cops from? Like, we've depleted the entire city's force by this point, and they're still dropping in from the roof.
If I'm not mistaken, that's only the second difficulty of 7. Payday 2, their difficulty scale slowly goes up, and it starts at normal, hard, very hard, overkill, mayhem, death wish, and then death sentence. And the game does a really good job of making you want to play those higher difficulties, because the harder the difficulty, the greater the XP and money rewards.
Yes.
That bank heist we did on normal, we only made, maybe 100, 200, 300,000.
But let's get into that real quick. The idea of the game is to pull off a heist and get the treasure or the
get paid, man.
You're
just going to get paid.
You're getting paid. And that's what's fun about this is because you do get paid and then you can upgrade your shit. And so based upon, I don't know what, but we were making money. What are the basis of how you make that money? If you play stealthy versus if you play full blown going in, is there a difference? What'd you call it earlier? You had terms for both of them. You're like,
go stealth, go loud.
Go loud. That was the thing you kept saying. You were like, Duck, you want to go stealth? You want to go loud? And I was like, let's always go stealth. Let's go in, and if shit goes
to play.
Yeah, and if shit goes sideways, then you fucking figure it out because it goes sideways pretty damn quick.
Oh yeah. So stealth is a huge part in a lot of the heists in this game, and you can go through and do them completely stealthy, in and out like a ghost. But it's hard. You have to really know what you're doing. You have to be loaded out for it. And I'm not going to lie, you have to be decked out planning to succeed in stealth, meaning you're going in with practically nothing. It's possible to survive with decent gear and make it all the way through stealthy. It's just a lot harder.
Is there a higher payout if you go in stealthy, or does it make a difference?
You get a little bit of a pay boost if you do it all the way through in stealth, and also an XP boost. For example, the mission, I can't remember what it's called. Payday's broken up into all these contracts from different contractors, and they have different motivations for the missions. There is an actual story that goes through the game. We'll get to that in a little bit. There's a mission called Election Day, and it's broken up into 2 days, which means 2 separate levels. The first one starts out on the docks, and you start in stealth. You're going in to try to rig these voting machines and figure out where they're going. You're going in to place a tracker on this van that has these voting machines so you can figure out where they're being stored and rig this election. And if you do it stealthy, you get this certain mission. And if you do that one in total stealth, you get gold as a bonus from the contractor. Like, it's there waiting for you in the end, and it says it's something cheeky like every vote counts or your vote counts. But if you go loud, you don't get to play that day. It goes to something else where you have to actually hit one of the voting locations and hack the machines there. And
shit.
You have to go loud, more or less. I think you can stealth it, but it's stupid hard. And they play into that in a lot of these missions where going loud, if you start out stealthy, is not the end of the world. But it's better if you can get through it.
Honestly, like I said, we started every mission in stealth mode. We tried to sneak in. That's what reminded me of Hitman, to the point where, like, you can take down people, you got to hide the bodies. We were taking out cameras. You had a hacking tool, I think. And the thing is, I had nothing. Whereas you've put in over how many hours into this game?
I've bought this game across 3 different platforms: Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, and PC. And on PC alone, I have over 400 hours on this game.
But you know what? I get it, because just playing it that little bit, I would want to play it again. And it's even better with some friends, I guarantee.
Oh,
like me and you
a
playing
crew
it,
of 4
we had-
people?
I can't even
it's
imagine.
Perfect.
Can't even imagine. So you want to get into the history of the game real quick, or do you want to get into the storyline of the game?
Payday 2 released in 2013. It was a follow-up to the original game, Payday the Heist, which, when it released, it came out with critical success. It was a very, very highly rated. And early on, I don't think they were planning on adding much to the game. 2013 was when DLC and stuff was really starting to take off, especially on Xbox and PlayStation and stuff. Payday 2 started releasing DLC content packs, and that's really where the game started to shine. The first DLC, if I'm not mistaken, was the Armored Transport pack. And it was really simple. You'd start this mission where you'd stop a convoy of these armored trucks. You'd have to drill into them and steal the loot, whatever it was from there. But it had this cool little feature where occasionally, if you played it, you might find a blueprint inside one of these trucks. And if you picked it up and survived the day, you'd unlock this bonus special mission where you'd go to this rail yard. It was this bridge that had a train stopped on top of it in the middle of this canyon, and you had to break into that. And you could do it loud or stealthy, but you actually get to steal the turret from Team Fortress 2.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
No
you have to
shit.
secure the turret and ammo for it, and it's little things like that. Every heist they added seemed to bring something new to the table, and I didn't hop on the PC version of this game until they released one of my personal favorites, the Golden Grin Casino, which I think was like 2015, 14?
Okay, real quick, the Team Fortress thing is because Steam Valve. That's why.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the connection. Okay, I was sitting there going like, well, this isn't a Valve game, so what? And then I'm an idiot. Okay, so the casino. You got me intrigued. I'm sorry, I'm just listening.
No, you're good. Casino was when I really started getting into the game. The Golden Grin Casino heist released June 25th, 2015. And I'd say that was probably halfway into the life of Payday 2. Because I'd been playing on Xbox for a while, but that company has a really big issue of they don't really support console all that much. And they've tried to fix that. They haven't, which that's another conversation for another day. PC, though, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
It was a whole different experience. They reworked perks. They reworked how weapons work. They are always adding new characters, new heists, new things, new this. You could use grenades. I couldn't do that on Xbox. I didn't have grenades. I wanted to throw a grenade.
Fuck yeah! I mean, we got a couple chucked at us earlier, especially the the flash grenades. Sweet Jesus.
Oh, those are the worst.
Yeah,
those
and
are
the whole
worst.
screen goes all messed up, and you think you're drunk, and you're all disoriented, and then SWAT team's coming at me, and I'm shooting at whoever I can.
But the Golden Grin is fucking cool because you can go two completely different ways, loud or stealth, but they are really, really different. And if you fuck up in stealth, you're starting from all the way at the beginning of whatever the loud path is. And it introduced one of my favorite characters, Sokol. He's this young Russian hockey player. He's always talking shit with that thick, hearty Russian accent. It's just so fun and so creative. And I mean, who doesn't want to rob a casino? That's some Ocean's 11 type shit.
Bro, when you said it immediately, I wanted to do it because the D&D, we play Heroes, Gyros, and we did a casino heist, and I can't help but to think maybe that was inspired a little bit by this game. Is that right,
Yeah,
Ethan?
Golden Grin actually was the basis I used for the Gilded Crown Casino. The Golden Grin Casino. Gilded Crown.
And that was so much fun. So I would love to play it in a video game form. You said that was about halfway through the life of the game. And you mentioned controversy. What was the controversy of this?
This game had a really bad problem of eternally releasing DLC packs.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on sale all the time. All of the DLC goes on sale all the time.
99 cents?
Well, yeah, but when those new ones come out, that's like $5-6 a pop every time. They were releasing those content packs a lot.
I could see this being a base game with an addictive fucking, like feeding that. The missions that we played took like a half hour, if even that. depending on the difficulty. So I could see wanting constant new missions. I could definitely see this feeding the fucking addicting nature of a gamer. But I mean, that speaks to how good the game is, though, because I really would like to play this more. Like, after playing it today, I'm like, if you were to say, hey, Duck, do you want to play some fucking Payday 2? I'll be like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
There's
shit.
so many other heists that we didn't even touch that are really just off the wall crazy and just so much fun to play. And my favorite are the ones that are stealth only. If you go loud at all, you fail. It will take your happy ass out of the mission.
What was the big thing, too, the controls within the game. It plays like a traditional first-person shooter with stealth elements. But there was a boat at one point. Are there other vehicles that you can drive in the game?
Yeah, there's a couple missions that have things you can drive. We did Birth of Sky Heist, which is from the Point Break DLC packs. And
it's really Point Break is what it is?
Oh, there's movie and game crossovers in this game. And we'll go over that in just a second. I know you didn't know that, but
no, I didn't.
Yeah, you can do boats, there's muscle cars, there's some really nice sports cars and stuff you can drive and stuff like that because you're stealing those or whatever. You can also drive a forklift in certain missions. And it's the greatest thing. You'd be driving along, all these cops are shooting at you, you got a couple of loot bags on the front of the forklift, and it's a one-hit kill on any enemy you touch. So you could have the big dude in the big bulletproof armor and mask, the bulldozers. You tap him once with a forklift,
and you brought up the money bags too. When we were carrying the money bags, it actually slows down your character, so it makes it feel more realistic. Which
different items have different weights.
Yeah,
so
I was like, Ethan, what's wrong with my character? And you're like, dude, you're carrying something. I'm like, oh, I forgot. Like, it's going for realism here.
And there's other things that have that effect too, like the certain kinds of armor you wear. You can view this information in the inventory, but if you're wearing heavier armor, you're going to move and run a lot slower. And your dodge skill, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's how often you dodge bullets that are shot at you, that actually is lowered as well. My personal play style, I like to be able to just bob and weave and run through crowds, so I'm hardly ever wearing armor. But my buddy Brennan, he usually runs the full tank suit of armor, and he's sitting in the back just unloading on these enemies, total Rambo style.
Nice. You were talking about the DLC, and then you were talking about the movie tie-ins.
You're excited now, aren't you?
Yes, I want to know more. Well, yeah, all right.
They've done a couple crossover things, some with indie games, some with stuff like that, but there has been some movie tie-ins, and one of which, personal favorite of mine.
Ooh. Nightmare Before Christmas. No, that's my favorite.
That'd be great, though.
That would be great. What was it, Ethan? You've got me intrigued.
Payday 2 did a crossover with the EDM artist Alesso for the Alesso heist, and this fucking musician will boss you around through a part of the heist, and it's fucking awesome.
He's actually in the game, or he's part of the soundtrack?
Not only he did the soundtrack for the whole heist, he is also fully voiced in the heist, where he's on stage and there's a part where you have to run the pyrotechnics booth to time it with some explosives, and he runs this whole segment of the heist where he's like, motherfucker, get on the intercom, hit it, and you have to hit these certain buttons in a certain order, and it's cool, man. It's one of those little things.
So he's like the Bosley, which is a reference you probably won't get from Charlie's Angels. He's the man in the box who tells you what to do, or like you actually see him?
No, he is actually on stage during this heist. It's just during the heist gameplay, he's trying to coordinate the show with the pyrotechnics guy, but y'all killed the pyrotechnics guy.
Ooh.
So
did you have to hide the body?
Depends how you're going about it. They also did a crossover with the remake of Point Break. They released Bodhi as a playable character, which I saw you were running around with his mask earlier, actually. I thought that was kind of cool. For the Birth of Sky and Beneath the Mountain heists, I believe. I don't know. Something like that. There was 2 heists that came out of that. Ron Perlman played a character in this. He is the biker.
Oh boy! What? Yes. Oh, you're bringing in the Beast from
there was they brought Scarface in as a character, and there's also the Scarface Mansion heist.
I saw that. Was that actually Scarface? Because
that is actually Scarface.
Oh, shit.
I think it's voiced by a different guy though, but it looks like Tony Montana.
It said Scarface doesn't like cockroaches, and I was like, that's funny. How'd they get away with that? Little did that I fucking know.
There's a Scarface heist.
Oh man, I love Scarface. Have you ever seen Scarface?
Parts of it.
You need
I
to
have not
watch
seen it
the
all the way
end
through.
where his sister shows up and she's all mad because he killed Angel. She's like, "You wanna fuck me, Tony? You wanna fuck me?" It's my
Oh, just
favorite
because of
part
that part,
movie.
not for
Dude,
the rest of the movie?
No, fuck the rest of that movie. That part where she's like, "You wanna fuck me?" I always lose my shit laughing. I'm like, oh, dude, it's so awesome. You wanna fuck me? Anyhow,
There are two other crossovers, though, that I need to name. They did a crossover with Ethan and Ela Klein of H3H3 on
no
YouTube.
shit. How cool
You can
is
play
that?
as Ethan and Hila.
Yeah.
So
Eli's fucking hot, dude. At least I think so. Whatever. Maybe I'm alone on that, thinking she's hot, but I think she's hot, and he's funny. He's cool.
they're both funny as fuck.
Yeah, I like a lot of their older stuff.
They have crossed over twice with John Wick.
No shit.
You can play as John Wick. There are John Wick heists and John Wick weapons. And my last and personal favorite, they crossed over with Hardcore Henry. You can play as coked up Jimmy, Charlton Copley.
Oh, that is metal as fuck.
And there are two missions, one of which is my fucking favorite. It's called Murky Station, where it is stealth only. If you go loud, you fail. But you have to go in and rob all these trains on this rail yard, and you're stealing like parts to an EMP bomb that is later used in the other heist where you fly into Russia, which ties into the movie, and nuke this lab and go steal data, and it's fucking cool as shit, dude.
No shit. Is it as fast paced as that movie?
Yes.
That is bad.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, Boiling Point, I think is what it was called. That used to be one of the hardest missions in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Goat Simulator tie-in, which, by the way, they did a crossover with Goat Simulator.
Why? I'm a why not person, but why? Of all things, the goat Sims.
I hate that heist so much, but it's one of the hardest ones in the game.
Does the goat fall over in sadness?
You have to actually hunt down the goats throughout the city because your Russian contact, Vlad,
always a Russian.
Apparently he was trying to move cocaine using the goats by shoving it up their ass or something.
This game is all about Russians, cocaines, and goats. Like, I'm fucking
It's
there,
great,
to be honest
dude.
with you. I you know what? I'm sold. Because I already have
Mm-hmm.
it. How about the soundtrack, too? You brought that up. Like, the soundtrack
dude.
to this game is, like, fucking banging, bro.
Most
Holy
of the sound and music for this game was made by a guy named Simon Viklund. And there's some songs and stuff that he didn't do and from other creators and whatnot, but dude, there isn't a single song in Payday 2 that's not a fucking banger.
Oh, yeah. It was insane. My adrenaline
Music
was
is the
pumping.
whole thing.
Yeah, like my adrenaline was pumping the whole time. And I don't know if it's like as the heist goes on or as the action ramps up, but it felt like as it did, the music got more intense and like it got crazier and crazier. I don't know if there were those.
It ties into the assault waves. So when you're in stealth, every song has its own section that loops during that. Then once you go loud, the music changes and starts to pick up. And then if you listen to the music, you can actually tell when the wave is when they're about to assault, because it'll build up towards it, and then the assault wave starts, and then it stops, and it's that constant cycling of wait, build up, assault, wait, build up, assault, and it's so clever. It really is.
Dude, that's fucking bomb. I felt it too because remember we were playing. I'm like, Ethan, that music's banging. My adrenaline's pumping. You're like, bro, you don't know, bro. And it literally was. He was my Sherpa into the world of Payday 2. He was just like, come with me. Come with me if you want to play Payday. Let's go.
I will show you the way.
We talked earlier about getting the money. Give this man his money.
Give him the money.
Hey everyone, it's just Doc jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And if you're enjoying the podcast today, please share with your friends. It's the only way we can grow this network. With that said, back to the podcast.
Listen, we got the money. What you do with the money then is buy cool shit. You upgrade. You upgrade, and that's what's so much fun is like, I don't know how many base characters were there, because I was a man and your character I think was a woman, and you were updating. You were like, I got pretty much set what I want, but I kept going in and upgrading and changing my mask, changing my outfit, changing my gloves, changing the guns I had, buying enhancements, like, and it's limited because you can only choose so many to have run at a time, but the options looked like they were endless.
The main thing that you need to focus on in this game is there's two kinds of currency. You get money from completing heists, and you get experience from completing heists. You'll get perk points as you level up, so that'll come naturally, and then money you might need to save up for other things. Perk points will obviously go towards your perks. That's how I was able to do stuff like put a camera on a short feedback loop or use those little EMP jammers for longer and things like that. There's all sorts of little perks you can use to deck out your character. The money, though, goes to making your guns stronger with new attachments and stuff like that, purchasing new weapons, melee weapons, masks, customization for masks. It goes on and on. You can really deck out any of the characters however you want, because masks you can even get as detailed to the material, the pattern, the colors. You can deck it out, dude. It's an art. It really is.
Yeah, dude. I could see that being definitely one of the most addictive qualities of the game is the avatar customization. And also, like you said, being able to earn perks. Like, you had stuff that I definitely didn't have. But you also were, guiding me through it. You're like, well, you don't have this yet, but like you can get this later in the game. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also, like you said, they did the thing that Left 4 Dead 2 did, where they carried over all the old shit from the first game into this game. So you don't have to worry about the first game. It's there.
It took them forever to do it, though. That's the thing. Is in the build-up to the true ending. We didn't
even talk about the storyline yet. You're right.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
The build-up to that, they had released a few of the classic heists, as they were calling them. First World Bank, Green Bridge, Heat Street, stuff like that. And remaking them and kind of repurposing them for Payday 2. Most of them were completely faithful remakes. Others were tied into the small little tidbits of story that they had started building up. And finally, yes, all of the heists are there, from First World Bank to No Mercy, which is a Left 4 Dead tie-in as well.
It sure as fuck is, man. I was just like, I know No Mercy. We've been playing a lot of Left 4 Dead 2 recently.
You go into the hospital, and if I'm not mistaken, you're trying to get a blood sample from patient 0. It's fucking cool, dude.
Are there zombies?
No.
Oh, okay.
But that disease ties into the story of Payday 2, which is weird. It's weird,
really?
dude.
How? Is it a prequel?
No. It's kind of like a alternate timeline. I'll disclaimer this with, I'm not by any means the end-all be-all in Payday 2 story lore. This is just from what I remember. Some of this might be wrong. The game originally started as it's just these 4 guys, Dallas, Hoxton, Chains, and Wolf, trying to make a name for themselves again after the events of Payday 1. So they start on this rampant crime spree across Washington, D.C., which is where most of the game takes place. And as they go on, they bring more and more of these other criminals from across the world into the fold, such as Scarface, Sidney, the character I was playing as, the original Hoxton from the first game, in which New Hawks got renamed Houston. It's all kinds of confusing. You had to break him out of prison in one mission. That's fun. And it starts spiraling onward and onward and onward until the FBI is just trying to hunt them down. They've pissed off multiple criminal organizations across the world, and they've also attracted the attention of pretty much the criminal Illuminati.
Damn!
Yeah, suddenly this game that had no story whatsoever, that was a bank robbing simulator, you're getting into mythical type shit. The guy who was the guy in the chair, Bane, he gets kidnapped all of a sudden, and he's missing. Y'all got to try to get him back. But
I even felt that while we were playing, because we started with a simple bank heist, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, you really did bring me into the world just nice and slow. And I was weirder. Like, yeah. So you're saying they bring in actual fantastical elements into the game?
Kind of. They have never outright explicitly said some mythical stuff. The ending is implied, which we'll get there. But let's see if I can remember these off the top of my head. There's 4 heists you have to do to get the true ending. It's the Golden Grin Casino, which is where it kind of all picked up. Another reason it's my favorite is the one piece of loot you have to secure for your contact is this weird, ancient-looking box with all these ancient Egyptian symbols and sigils and stuff all over it. And it's really regal looking. It's fucking cool, but it's only worth like $500 when you throw it in the van. Kind of weird. And it even refers to it as like the dentist's loot. And that's the name of your contact, the dentist. It's just weird. And I remember kind of sitting back going like, really? Out of all the money and all the stuff he could have wanted from this casino, why the fuck did he want this? And God, it was that one. Oh, another tie-in I forgot. Reservoir Dogs.
What?
There's just so many little ones.
Jesus, that's crazy.
That's the Brooklyn Bank. I think that's another one, and there's two others. But the game, the final crowning achievement in 2017 was the White House heist.
Ooh, what?
The events of the game have boiled over to the point where you have to go break into the White House. And the final goal of that mission is you're stealing presidential pardons for you and your team.
Bro, that literally just made my brain explode a little bit. How is that even legal? How can they even do that? How can you create a like it is a heist simulator? Yeah. How can you make a game where that's like the be all end all? I guess you can do whatever, but that's crazy to me.
Well, they've been teasing this heist since the game originally came out. If you play one specific mission called Framing Frame, there's a line in day 3 of that job where Bane will go on the mic and you can see the White House off in the distance. He says, "Oh man, 1600 pen. Maybe we should have our next hit there." And they've been teasing that since 2013. There was no other way it could have ended.
Wow. So this is the be all end all of the story.
It is. So you do that, and if you do the heist without all the other crap, you get the bad ending, which there are multiple endings in this too. Who would have guessed? So there's some stuff about Bane catching
Yes.
You have to go break him out of prison because he got captured by the Illuminati, and they don't like what Payday Gang is up to and stuff, and they want the boxes as well. Dentist is working for them. So much double crossing and stuff. He gets sick. He's terminally ill. White House heist this is it. This is the last big heist. I don't know who figured this out, but it was just massive. It was a massive effort of the whole Payday 2 community, because you have to do these very convoluted and tricky puzzle-solving things to unlock an additional area in the White House that has that last box, or the chamber where the good ending happens. You go in, this cutscene plays for a brief second, it's a quick fight, and then it just ends. Done. Ooh. It blew my mind in 2017 when the credits rolled and the final cutscene. Throughout the promotion for this game and some of the DLC and stuff, they had live action people acting as these characters and, kind of promoting this stuff. Well, they did the same thing for the ending. It was all live action. Suddenly, instead of the bad ending where you're at Bane's funeral and everyone's throwing their masks away, suddenly everyone's on the beach in Mexico. They're all having a good time. They're chilling it out, having a good time. And they flip on a TV, and the President of the United States comes on, and he had been rumored missing for some time. He had gone missing in all the chaos of the White House heist. And more or less the moral of this, Bane swapped bodies with the president. So they stole... Yes. They didn't just steal their freedom, they stole the United States of America.
Holy fuck. And that's the supernatural element of the game that's never...
They'd never outright say it. But as the credits roll, what does he say? At the end of his presidential speech, I think he says something along the lines of, "Let's do this," or "Let's get to work," or something like that. Yeah. And the credits roll and tell you what all the characters did after the heist and stuff. And it says, "And Bane will always be remembered in the underground legacy of the world, blah, 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 blah. And he'll always be remembered for his words." And it's exactly what the president said at the end of...
It's the classic, "You son of a bitch."
But it's like, how can you get bigger than that?
That's it, right?
No.
What?
That was the end of Payday 2. It was very abrupt. They did one last event. No one realized it was going to be the end until it already was the end. And for a whole year, that game was like, poetic. Okay, they're done. Overkill went off and made a game called Overkill's The Walking Dead, and that was a commercial flop. It was bad. It was buggy. It was...
And was it based on this engine? It was kind of the same thing, yes. Or was it its own thing? Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it was.
Would have been better, it sounds like, DLC content to this game, possibly. It sounds like the DLC is where they're making their shit. But you told me about this earlier, and I asked you, I said, was this about the time The Walking Dead was at its peak popularity, or it was dying off?
Dying off.
And it was dying off. Do you think that's part of why they tried to rush it out as quick as possible and it failed?
I think so. But I think part of it boiled down to the company was running into some financial struggles, and this game flopping was the straw that broke the camel's back. The company, Overkill, actually filed for bankruptcy and went under for a while. So there had been rumors of a Payday 3 for a while, and as soon as they filed for bankruptcy, everyone was like, nope, that's it. Somehow, though, they were able to restructure the whole company and come back, and one thing they did before Payday 2 ended was they converted all the DLC to just one-time buy, and you get all future updates and content for free, which I thought it was cool. I kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to stick around, though. When they restructured and came back and said that Payday 2 was returning to active development, they were like, look, guys, we're going to go back to a la carte DLC. And some people threw down about that, but honestly, I don't mind because it's supporting the comeback of a company that I really want to see stick around for a while.
And so
since then, they've been going down this whole other story path for Payday 2 that's happening in parallel with what's already happened. So these other characters are going off and dealing with the mercenary group Murky Water that's in that game's universe and hitting them hard in their operations in Mexico. So the last 3 heists that have come out, the newest one, called Breakfast in Tijuana, they're all based in Mexico, fucking with these mercenaries and the federales and stuff like that. And it's really well done, man. I'm just happy to be getting new content for the game.
Well, I mean, shit, the game's 7 years old. It's insane that they're still putting out stuff like that. Absolute insanity that a game, other than like World of Warcraft, can you name any other game that has legs that long? I mean, shit, Call of Duty changes it up every couple of years. It's just like a roster update, basically.
This is the same game. Like, they're building upon the same engine. It is the stuff that you had before still needs to work now. It's not like Call of Duty where you can just throw it away and start over. This one, it's still the same foundation they planted in 2013. I think it still stands up. It's got its fair share of problems. It's buggy. It's glitchy. You know, the balancing isn't perfect by any means. I mean, and it's had a fair share of other controversies, microtransactions and shit across the years, but they've worked out all the kinks. And I'm able, for the first time in 6-7 years, to customize my character even more. I can customize the outfit, the gloves. They came out with an update just a few days ago where I can change the gloves.
Oh, I see, and I did that earlier. I was like, I didn't know that was an update. I just thought that was part of the game. So they're consistently putting out stuff to make you want to come back just a little bit more. Yeah. And then, like you said, they're making their money off. How much are these content packs that you download every time?
They're back to that like $5-6 a pop or so. Although with what they've been calling the Silk Road storyline, they've been coming out with bundles where you can get the heist and all the customization DLC packs they're releasing at once together. So you can get the Breakfast in Tijuana, Fugitive Weapon Pack, and Weapon Color Pack 2, I think, for like $10 now. And it'd be like 13 or 14 separate.
Yeah,
so,
the prices, that's pretty close. These prices are slashed, too. Like, they're nice and low.
Yeah, and that's the other cool thing about Payday 2 is all the DLC, it goes on sale all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, if you wait a week, I guarantee you every DLC pack will be down to $1 or $2.
There's a fucking Western pack on here. What the fuck is that? Like,
yeah, you don't even need all the heists. If you didn't feel like spending a dime on Payday 2, but I own every single heist, all I have to do is host, and you can play any damn mission you want.
That's crazy.
You don't have to own it.
It's crazy. Yeah, because we were playing quite a bit of stuff earlier today, and it was just like, holy shit. I'm a fan. You made me a fan today, and through talking about it, I'm even more of a fan. I'm getting excited.
The only other thing I really want to touch on, and I don't know where this will fit in, is the marketing for this game. Oh my God. It's the best. They've done events where they release new updates every single day. They probably won't do that again just because the game's so far out of development now. And again, they are still working on content packs, but they're also working on Payday 3 or whatever other side projects. But in the past, they've done events. They had fun little side stuff where you could get little paper craft cutouts of all the heisters, fold them up yourself and stuff like that. Just stupid little side things. And whenever new trailers and stuff come out, the latest one for Breakfast in Tijuana, that's live action as well. It's got the community manager as the lead actor for that. And it's just so clever, so well done. The voice actors and the live action actors for these characters, they've embraced those characters and they interact with the fans regularly. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
It's really tight-knit. Once you get into the Payday 2 community, you really feel like it's a community. It's not like oh, we're a community, we're all, no.
Fortnite!
If you play
Fortnite!
Payday 2, you're going to bond with people that play Payday 2, man.
Yeah.
You're going to geek out over the same shit. You're going to show each other these cool mask customizations, awesome builds, perk layouts, whatever. It's fucking awesome. Except when you're actually playing multiplayer online with random people. Then it goes like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And if you do one dumb thing, you're gone.
Oh, they kick you? Or they let you go? They let you die?
Whatever they're feeling.
Well, I mean, that's what this game seems like. It's meant to be played with friends, and you need close communication with each other. And I mean, honestly, like when we were playing it earlier, I was just like, who else can we add to this fucking game right now? I got excited about it. I'm like, why are we not all playing this at all times? Like, I get it. Too much fun, dude.
I'm so glad that you enjoy the game, dude, because I love playing that game.
Oh, dude, that game was a blast.
I've been playing that since like 2013, 2014, whenever it came out. And there's a spot there where I wanted to start bitching about the console stuff, but that would have been a little...
No, do it real quick. Yeah.
The one thing that really has just pissed me off about this game, and I mean genuinely pissed me off, is they do not give a fuck. Okay, no, I'm not going to be that mean. They don't care about console support, and I think it's because they don't have the manpower for it. The game came out on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC, and PC has always been getting all the updates. The other two have been the bastard children, whatever you want to call it. Literally, at first, the explanation was the hardware wasn't good enough for more DLC packs and updates, which, okay, I'll give them that. Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, maybe whatever reason, it wasn't built the right way for their game, where a port was really difficult. They re-released Payday 2 Crime Wave Edition on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One with the hopes of bringing it up to speed with the computer version of the game. And I think in its heyday, up to the White House heist, they were only maybe a few months behind on updates, which is way better than where they had been. They had been like years behind for the longest time. And when the company went bankrupt and then restructured and came back, the console ports of it went out the window. They straight up said, look, we don't have the manpower for this. We can't do this. And if at some point in the future we're able to, then we will. But right now, we're done with console development. We'll do bug fixes, we'll patch it, but we're not adding anything new. And it really kind of broke my heart at that point because I was playing on a potato PC. I would prefer to play on PlayStation 4 all day, every day. I wasn't going to get the White House heist. I wasn't going to get whatever. And they released a couple new heists when they made that announcement, but those were the last few that were in the pipeline. So they've come out and said that they're going to do better with the next game and make it a little bit more port-friendly, but they don't have a good track record at all.
But this game seems like a kind of game that was built, especially with as much DLC as they have for Steam, and especially for the ability for Steam to discount stuff. So, makes a lot of sense when you have a product like this to actually be on Steam. That way that they can provide low prices. That's probably where the longevity comes from. That's probably what saved the company. So when I look through the downloadable content, I see all that, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It just really does.
Yeah, the 57 individual DLC packs, I fully believe they saved Payday 2.
Yeah.
And they saved the company as a whole. And again, I love Overkill. All the announcements and stuff they've made, they're awesome. And I personally look up to them as a game developer. I really, really love their games and what they do. But
Except for that
breaks my
fucking
heart.
Walking Dead piece of shit.
I wouldn't even touch that. I didn't even touch Raid World War II, man.
But so you want the best for them and you want to see them succeed. And...
I really do, because I know they can do better because they've done better. They've taken Payday 2 and they've done fantastic. It's been so up and down, and I know they can succeed with another game or a different franchise or a different IP. It also disappoints me, too, that they're screwing over their fans on other platforms, too. They're dropping the ball, man. They owe those people the full experience of Payday 2. It shouldn't be segregated from those people that are on Steam. I've always had an issue with that, and I know they're probably not content with that. They're probably just as upset about it as I am, and I understand the circumstances, but as a fan, I'm mad. As a developer, I get it. And as a Padawan, I'm looking up to them for what they're going to do in the future. The only other thing I'd like to kind of acknowledge about this game is it has a killer modding community as well. Mods are huge for this game.
Yeah? Like what?
Of course, you got stuff like custom soundtracks, custom masks, character reskins, etc., etc., etc. You can get custom voice lines, custom heists, HUDs. It's impressive. No shit. Some of my favorite mods are just little tweaks here and there. I got one where I can, whenever I throw a grenade, it's the "my leg" scream from SpongeBob. My leg! I think at one point I had imported all the Persona 5 music as the heist soundtrack. So it'd start up and then suddenly you're listening to Persona 5 music when the cops show up. And it's crazy, dude. There's a lot of creative stuff you can get.
I'm literally looking through this stuff right now, and it's absolutely insane, the stuff that they put on here. I always forget mods exist because I'm relatively new at Steam. Atari to Steam. I'm Atari, Ethan Steam. But, that's badass, dude.
Dude, there's some really good mods out there, too, and they add some fun stuff. You can get custom gun skins, reskin your characters, revoice them. There's a mod to, I think it's called like the Sydney Improval mod or something like that, and all it does is it makes Sydney's tits like ridiculously huge.
I'm in the Pimp collection right now, which has Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent on there, and I'm just like, sold. Give me some 50. Yeah, that's badass, dude. I will say that I'm very happy that you introduced me to this game today, and I hopefully will play it some more with some friends. You got Steam, let us know. We'll check it out. That's all I'm saying.
Duck, I know you've only been playing it for a day. What would you rate Payday 2?
I will give it can't give it an S, even though I feel an S right now. I don't know. An A maybe, but maybe an S? I don't know, man. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'll give it an A.
I could see the shortfallings because it is an older game, and the novelty probably would have worn off by now. So I'm basing it, but on my interaction today, I had a fucking blast playing it. So
I think it's one of those games you can always come back to and still not get tired of it, like Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2 or something. Mm-hmm. But, it does show its age, and I think a sequel would be amazing.
Right.
I think if they take this foundation, build upon it, and make it kind of refine the engine mechanics and work out some more of the kinks and actually give us some fucking console support for once, that would be great.
And
it's a great game.
And I can see all the influences, like I said, like Time Cop, like there were a lot of influences in this that I saw, but it's a very unique experience because I never knew that I wanted you to come up and go, you son of a bitch. And then we get into the fucking heist, and then we go, boom, baby, at the end. Ethan, people should play this, and they need to get on it. And for $1, you can't go wrong.
You can always find it cheap.
Yeah.
Payday 2 goes on sale. I've said it, I don't know how many times this podcast alone. It goes on sale all the time. It's cheap. It's fun. Everyone has it. And it's even better if you got, 2 or 3 friends that you can play it with as well. You're bound to have a good time.
So check it out. Go on Steam. Get it right now. We'll see you on there when we're playing. Other than that, we appreciate you listening. This has been Duck, and I've been here with
Ethan.
And one thing you got to remember, though, if you're playing this game, I'm sorry to say,
you're in the middle of a heist.
Yeah,
you need to remember one thing. One thing only.
You ain't Billy Mitchell, bitch. So stop trying. Stop. All right, bye.
And there it is. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you have enjoyed it, please do not forget, share with your friends. That is how we grow the network. And if this is your first time listening, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcast here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Error, where we talk about movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, that's Javi. We're breaking down pop culture, and we're having a blast. Don't forget Heroes Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were sitting down, we're playing some D&D. We're having so much fun. You can go and start that from the beginning of the journey, Season 1, Episode 1. You're going to love it all the way through. And finally, I hate being sober. Personal stories from epic people. I'm going to sit down with some of the most epic people I've ever met in this world, and we're going to talk about their life, we're going to talk about their trials and tribulations, and we're just going to talk about their journey this far. Head on over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. Also, head over to the Facebook group, We Are Era. We would love to see you in that group. And don't forget, if you've enjoyed the podcast today, share it with your friends. That's the only way we can grow this network. But with that said, I have to remind you, I can never let you forget this. You ain't Billy Mitchell, bitch. So stop trying. We'll see you next time.